A U.S. district judge now barring the Trump administration from deporting an Indian academic from Georgetown University. This comes after the Department of Homeland Security accused him of having ties to Hamas. The judge's ruling prohibits federal officials from deporting Badar Khan-Suri. Now, he is a postdoctoral fellow at the university, and this order is to remain in effect until it's lifted by the court. Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes joining us here to be able to discuss this further. I mean, Khalif, we are starting to be able to see more cases like this where a student is accused of having ties to Hamas. What can you tell us about this specific case?
What I can say is, first, let's look at that last part. Would you say the order is put in place until removed by this court? Normally, that would lead the day. That would be it. The judge has spoken. I'm done. Nothing else happening. I'm willing to say that that may not happen exactly how the judge has laid it out. If we think about what's happened recently, the judge is making sure and clarifying that his orders have been followed, making sure that people didn't misunderstand them, making sure that there was nothing ambiguous about what he said. And so in this situation, this is a doctor that's here studying, and he's ironically studying ways to stop wars in other countries, and now is being accused of a couple of things. First of all, they talk about his social media activity, specifically supporting Palestine. The other portion is they talk about his ties, his father-in-law having ties to Hamas leaders. Those are the two connections that they're attempting to make that gives the Trump administration the ability to remove him outside the normal deportation process and just put him under the Alien Enemies Act and say, look, this is a person we can remove basically without due process.
My concern is this: if you are here on a student visa and you have an opinion about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, what's the fine line between freedom of speech and now I'm in jeopardy of being deported? Excellent question.
I think the Trump administration is saying that we are attacking a number of things that are happening on college campuses, specifically speech when in regards to, in their comments, to anti-Semitic speech, right? And that's the thing that they're trying to wipe out. Those are things that they've mentioned a number of times that they're trying to quell and to quash, right? But you're talking about what his attorneys have also mentioned, that this is a First Amendment argument, that you can only chill speech if it is not viewpoint neutral. And in this situation, you're saying you don't like his comments online. And the courts have held a number of times that it is extremely hard. I mean, the burden is very high for the government to say, I can stop, I can challenge, I can chill your speech if I don't like the content of what you're saying. And so even if it's distasteful, even if it's speech that I don't like at all, I cannot, as the government, say, you know what, your speech can't happen, because I don't like it. I can tell you time, place, and manner. I don't want you to speak here today, this week, this month, but I can't tell your type of speech unless it's a compelling public interest and it is narrowly tailored. The compelling public interest here, if I'm arguing for the government, is that national security, that this type of speech, he's supporting, hate speech that's terroristic activity. But if he's just supporting a war that's happening in another country and he's talking about folks that are being killed in another country and not promoting the death or the killing of other folks, I think you're talking about the types of speech and the content of his speech, which I think the First Amendment would protect. Regarding the part with his father, that connection, I think that's the only legitimate connection that they would say which would rise to the level of him having some terroristic activity. And even that, it would have to be proven that he has had a connection with this person, had communication with this person about trying to do something that is against the efforts of this country.
Give us, so our audience knows, the connection of the father, that piece of that, if you can just kind of explain.
Well, I mean, his wife, his wife's father is a professor, educated, has advised the government in Palestine, and now at some point had a relationship with a Hamas leader that was killed. That connection is what they're saying is the problem that links him to some type of foreign activity that this government believes is a reason for him to be deported outside of the normal process. And I say outside the normal process because a green card holder, a student visa holder, they all have a process to be deported. Typically it's charged with a crime or doing something that is espionage in nature against this country. And it doesn't appear that either one of those activities that they listed is what he's done.
Khalif Rhodes, appreciate your insight.